Ray Ray, thank you so much for joining us today. Please introduce yourself, your business, and your role in Henderson County.
Of course, thank you so much for having me. My name is Ray Hicks, and I am the Team Member Success and Hiring Coordinator at Team 2020. And my role here in Henderson County is I help that team to staff and also develop the current team and train the team on leadership skills.
Oh man, you are right in there with those employees, frontline, internal, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
A little bit about that. So day to day, my day would look like hiring, interviewing, moving them forward in our very on-purpose and diligent process. That would also look like event planning. So I do our social events, our team events, and also our leadership classes. And I also do design curriculum and helping the other team prepare for helping to present it, because we do like to stretch our team members to grow and present some of those leadership classes as well.
Oh, what a perfect opportunity to work with the business capstone students. Now let's talk about business etiquette. To you, what is business etiquette?
Business etiquette to me is a couple things. So primarily, I believe it's a common respect. A respect in the way that you communicate, a respect in the way that you show up. Are you on time? Are you respectful of others? I also believe it's how you carry yourself. So not only in the respect and the communication aspect, but in your behaviors and in how you show up. I also believe that business etiquette is really related to the internal character that you continue to grow in a professional way.
Wow, it's multifaceted. That is clear.
For me, it is, yes.
Absolutely. Now, why is business etiquette important both in and out of the workplace?
Business etiquette is something that empowers you to be bolder in the workplace and also bolder at home. When you have business etiquette, you carry yourself a little bit differently. You show up differently. When you enter a room, it's a little bit different. And I feel that when you have that business etiquette about yourself, whether it's your communication, your behaviors, or like I mentioned, how you show up, you carry yourself a little bit different. It's not just about the education and the right things to say or when to say them. It's really about you as a human, as a person, and what you're trying to do from day to day to accomplish continuous growth in your talents and your skills, and most importantly, how you treat others.
That's awesome. So in Business 265, the students move through not only the career search and planning, but also this self-reflection component. How is self-reflection important to really building that business etiquette you are speaking of?
That is a great question. So self-reflection to many is key in whatever business you're in, whether you're an entrepreneur starting your own, whether you're a team leader, or whether you're a mom, or whether you're just you and you're a dog mom. Self-reflection is key so you can identify what your strengths are, celebrate those, and also what opportunities you may have to strengthen those. To give you an example, so at Team 2020 we do a variety of personality tests. So we have the DISC, the Enneagram, the Clifton Strengths, and we do that so we can take that self-reflection and learn more about ourselves. What are we great at? What are we not so great at? And who could we partner up with that might be similar to accomplish a task, or who could we partner up with that's dramatically different so we could learn more about ourselves, more about their style, and complete a project together. So self-reflection is key. I think no matter what avenue of life you're in, what avenue of business you're in, it's really taking the time on yourself and how can you improve, but also don't forget to celebrate yourself. I think that's often missed. So self-reflection allows for a great balance in that and how you want to prioritize your days, your time, and what goals do you have. If you don't have time to reflect on those goals and actually tangibly taking the steps to plan and walk that out, then your goals aren't going to be official. They may be dreams, and dreams are great, but goals are key, not only personally and professionally.
It sounds like at Team 2020 you all focus greatly on team development and internal customer development.
We do. Although we are a local building company, our purpose is to build attainable housing, which I think is key for our communities, the first families or the first-time home buyers. But also the mission is literally to build attainable homes and develop leaders. And so to do that, we want to create an environment, atmosphere, curriculum, and just day-to-day fun with our team to be able to do that. And of course, we have company values that we not only live out, but we want to celebrate those, recognize those, and that starts from the owner down. So it's a really cool environment to be a part of.
Rocking it. Okay. All right, professionalism. We're moving there, okay? All right, we touched on business etiquette. Now let's focus on professionalism. Can you share a few traits of business professionalism in the workplace?
Business professionalism and business etiquette do go together, but business professionalism, I'm going to be a little nitty-gritty here. So professionalism, I mentioned kind of how you walk in the room. Well, think of that more on a visual level. So our subconscious automatically makes decisions about someone as soon as you see them. It's a 7-11 rule, right? So within 7 seconds, my subconscious is making 11 decisions about you. When you have business professionalism, it allows you to make a great first impression. That could be the way that you're dressed, that could be your posture, that could be your eye contact, that could be the words or the verbiage or the grammar that you're using. So business professionalism in one aspect is how you show up physically and communication-wise. And I think the other way the business professionalism does tie into your education level in terms of what you're discussing or what you're interviewing for or what you're moving towards in terms of goals. So being able to provide a solid conversation or preparing yourself, even if you're nervous into that networking event, but preparing yourself to show up professionally, break through whatever nerves that you have, and actually walk in confidently. And I think that ties into the professionalism. I also think back to the verbiage that you use. It doesn't have to be beautiful words or super fancy words, but just in terms of the language that you're using, professional language that you're using. I would also tie that into your thoughts. Can you communicate clearly? And reflecting on how you communicate and your thoughts will allow you to grow in a way where you can clearly communicate what you're thinking, and that directly ties into professionalism and respect for others, in my opinion.
Ray, you are tying all of the components of this course together. I love it. Thank you so much. Now, when we start to think about phone calls, you've touched on multiple channels from in-person, first impressions, email. Let's talk about phone calls.
Yes.
So I know that some think that a phone call, sometimes it's just tough to pick up the phone, first of all. Second of all, a phone call, how do we let them know we're happy, we're pleasant, we're professional if they're on the other side of the phone and they can't hear us? So when making a work phone call, what steps can a student or a new employee take to make sure they are professional and productive?
Yes, so for professional and productive, I would go through that call, not overthink, but go through the call. What is the goal of the call? That will help you to remain productive. Or do you have specific questions that you want to ask, or are you looking for specific answers to something? I would have maybe a bullet point or two just to remind you to help you stay on track for that phone call to remain productive. In terms of your tone, that's super important, and a trick is to smile.
Yes.
So when you smile when you're making that phone call, your tone kind of automatically comes through as positive because you're smiling. So I would say definitely calm your nerves, put on one of your favorite, maybe your jams before you make that call, give you the confidence, and then that way when you make that call, have the smile, introduce yourself, and then have that bullet point to help you remain productive on that call. I would also say to let your personality shine. Depending on where the call goes, stay focused, stay productive, but also if questions are asked of you, don't elaborate for 20 minutes, but if they have a question, this is going to be a silly example, but what's your favorite food? So instead of just like, oh, and this would not be asked on an interview, but, sorry, that was a bad example.
No, you're okay.
Okay.
Pick another one and go.
So for example, if you're asked what's your hobby, right? So one way is no smile, hiking. Okay, or I enjoy hiking. And last weekend, I went on this wonderful hike with my family and my dogs, and I loved being in the sunshine. So the two different scenarios kind of outline a monotone, point blank answer versus a little bit of elaboration, showing a little bit of your personality, and that can sometimes really tie in a relationship in terms of a foundation when you're making that phone call.
Absolutely. So it's kind of setting you apart, but also building that authentic kind of relationship and trust during that call.
Absolutely.
I love it. Okay. Last one. You ready? All right. So thank you so much, Ray, for the wealth of information you brought to the table. I love that you've shared the experiences at Team 2020 and connected them to the business professional, business etiquette work environment. Now, one tip. Your top tip for students entering the career planning or career advancement phase regarding interview preparation and business professionalism in the workplace.
So in terms of interview preparation, I think that the largest tip I have is in that preparation.
Yes.
So I would role play, right? It might feel awkward, a little uncomfortable, but pick a friend, provide them some questions, use the resources you have. We have wonderful resources online. We have all different sorts of AI. We have Google, all of those. So have some questions prepared. What industry are you looking at going in? Maybe that's your thing. What are some common questions for an interview in working in the environment of hospitality? So what are some interview questions in hospitality, right? So now you have some questions. Give them to a friend. Give them to someone and say, hey, ask me some questions, right? Well, along those same lines, you can bullet point what your answers would be. So I would say the preparation is key and thinking of specific scenarios. As someone who does interviews almost daily, I love scenarios or specific examples. It's one thing to say you can do something or you have a trait or characteristic or skill, but it's another to smile while you're telling me, have a positive tone, and then be able to give me a scenario where you have used that skill or talent, or one that may come up if you haven't experienced that yet, but providing a scenario where, if this were to happen, if I were hired here, this is how I would handle it.
Great.
And those things are great. So with interview, it's in there. Interview preparation. Preparation would be key for that. And business professionalism?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so for business professionalism, the one tip I have, we also kind of covered, that was self-reflection. So as you're looking into the professionalism that I carry, self-reflect. So when I walk into a room full of strangers, what am I telling them with the way that I show up? Am I on time? Am I early? Am I approaching them? Hi, how are you? Am I introducing myself? Is the language I'm using respectful? Most importantly, am I genuine? So you want to carry yourself in a genuine way and also a professional way. And I think that all really starts with reflection on who you are, who you want to grow into, and how you can get there in a tangible way and empowering yourself to do that journey.
What great feedback. Right. Thank you so much for your time and for sharing this wonderful feedback with students. We appreciate you and Team 2020.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor, and I'm so excited for your students to enjoy this.